All right, buckle up, because today we are diving deep into the world of CrossFit.
Diving deep is right. We're going all the way to the source.
That's right, none of that surface level stuff.
We're talking straight from the CrossFit playbook.
The OG document itself.
Foundations.pdf, their core principles laid bare.
And before you jump to any conclusions about tire flips and protein shakes,
Yeah, put those preconceived notions aside for a second.
this isn't about becoming a hardcore CrossFit athlete overnight.
It's about understanding the why behind the what.
Exactly, we're unpacking a fitness philosophy.
A philosophy that just might flip your whole workout world upside down.
I love it, a good fitness philosophy deep dive.
And this one is juicy, let me tell you.
So foundations.pdf, it's like their manifesto, right?
Very much, yeah.
Laying out the groundwork, no fun intended.
They cut right to the chase.
So what's the big takeaway?
CrossFit is not about just getting ripped.
Or like mastering one specific sport, right?
Exactly. It's about building a body that's ready for anything.
Ready for anything, that's a bold statement.
They call it achieving a broad adaptive response.
Okay, I'm intrigued. Broad adaptive response.
Yeah.
So not specializing in one thing, but being really good at everything.
You got it. Think of it this way. A typical gym routine might have you doing bicep curls, right?
Sure, everyone wants those guns.
But in real life, when do you ever just bicep curl something?
Never. Unless you're like a really enthusiastic mime.
Exactly. You're using multiple muscle groups at once, right?
Yeah, carrying groceries, playing with my dog.
Yeah.
Real life is basically compound movements.
And CrossFit gets it. It's all about training your body for those real life scenarios.
So ditching the perfect bicep for, well, being awesome at life. I can dig it.
That's what we like to hear.
And speaking of being awesome at life, this document lays out what they call the 10 domains of fitness. Some of these are no-brainers, like
Cardio, stamina, strength, right?
exactly. Those are the usual suspects. But then things get interesting. We're talking flexibility, power, speed.
Coordination, agility, balance, even accuracy.
Whoa, that's a lot more than just lifting heavy things.
And that's where CrossFit throws a wrench in the whole traditional fitness machine.
Because it's not just about how much you can bench press or how many miles you can run.
It's about mastering all aspects of physical performance, even the ones we tend to overlook.
Okay, so explain it to me like I'm 5. Why do those other domains like balance and accuracy even matter?
All right, think about it. Good balance isn't just for gymnasts, right?
Yeah.
It's what keeps your grandma from taking a tumble. It's what helps you recover from a near slip on the ice, keeps you agile on your feet.
Okay, I'm seeing the importance of good balance now. What about accuracy?
That's everything from shooting hoops with your friends to having precise control when you're lifting heavy objects, so you don't throw your back out.
Wow, I never thought of it like that. It's like CrossFit is giving you the tools to be good at life, not just like good at the gym.
Exactly.
So we're going for this well-rounded functional approach, hitting all these domains. But where does CrossFit really challenge the typical gym routine?
Well, for starters, this document does not hold back on criticizing traditional methods.
Oh, they're calling people out.
Straight up, they're calling out those endless cardio sessions.
Yeah, those are the worst.
And those isolation exercises, where you're just working one muscle group at a time.
Yeah, like bicep curls for mimes.
Exactly. CrossFit is all about efficiency, maximizing what they call the neuroendocrine response.
Okay, hold on. Pause the deep dive for a second. Neuroendocrine response.
Yeah.
My brain just went offline. What in the world does that even mean?
Think of it like hacking your hormones, but in a good way.
All right, I'm listening.
CrossFit's style of training, with its focus on compound movements and intense bursts of activity.
So like short and intense rather than long and drawn out.
You got it. This triggers the release of hormones that are key to building muscle, boosting strength, and basically just becoming more badass.
So instead of spending an hour on the elliptical reading a magazine.
Which, let's be honest, we've all done.
Guilty. You're saying CrossFit is more about going all out for shorter periods.
Exactly. Doing exercises that work your entire body, not just isolating one muscle group.
It's like a crash course in total body fitness.
And here's the kicker. The document actually compares this approach to how Olympic athletes train.
Whoa, really?
Yeah, it's in there. Suddenly, CrossFit feels less like a fad and more like a strategic, science-backed system.
I like it.
It's legit.
Okay, so we're basically training like Olympians now. Sign me up. But there's this one thing that kind of intimidates me about CrossFit.
What's that?
It just seems so intense, like, is it really for everyone? Or just for people who can, like, bench press a small car?
That's where scaling comes in. It's a huge part of the CrossFit philosophy.
Scaling, okay. Tell me more. I've heard that term thrown around.
So it's not about everyone doing the exact same workout with the same weights and reps.
Gotcha. So it's not one size fits all.
Right. It's about adjusting the intensity to match your fitness level without necessarily changing the actual movements themselves.
So a total newbie and a CrossFit veteran might both be doing squats, just, maybe with different weights.
Yeah.
Or variations or something.
Exactly. The beauty is those foundational movement patterns are beneficial for everyone. So whether you're just starting out or you're already in amazing shape, you're still building that functional strength and coordination.
And the cool thing is this Foundations document, it talks about how it's never too late to start. Like they mention these 80-year-old CrossFitters who are stronger than untrained 25-year-olds.
Yeah, that's in there. It's pretty wild.
It's kind of mind-blowing. Like proof that age is just a number.
It really makes you rethink those assumptions about aging and fitness.
Yeah.
It's not about slowing down. It's about adapting and pushing your limits at any age.
Love it. But, okay, there's this one thing in the document that threw me for a loop. It calls marathon runners fringe athletes. Is CrossFit saying endurance athletes aren't really fit?
It's not about discrediting endurance athletes or anything. They're obviously incredibly dedicated.
Right, of course.
But remember, those 10 domains of fitness, marathon runners are, by nature, incredibly specialized. They excel in cardiovascular endurance, obviously.
Right, makes sense.
But that hyperfocus can come at a cost. They might be neglecting other areas like strength training, flexibility,
So you might be able to run for miles, but then struggle to, do a pull-up or have the explosive power to, jump over a fallen tree on the trail or something.
Exactly. CrossFit is about building a well-rounded athlete. Someone who's ready for anything. It's about balance.
Makes sense, like having all your bases covered. All right, speaking of well-rounded, we got to talk about the elephant in the room, or should I say the barbell in the gym. Olympic weightlifting.
Here we go.
I'll admit, I always thought those lifts were, for Olympians. Why are they such a big deal in CrossFit?
Think of Olympic lifts, the clean and jerk, the snatch, as the ultimate expression of full body power, because they demand everything. Coordination, timing, flexibility, and of course, raw strength.
I've tried them. They're not easy.
No, they're tough. They're challenging for sure. But the benefits, they're off the charts because that explosiveness you develop, it translates to jumping higher, running faster, even having more power behind your high five.
So it's not just about how much weight you can lift. It's about moving your body quickly, efficiently, power.
Exactly. And get this. This is where it gets really interesting. The Foundation's document actually points out that Olympic lifts are basically the only type of exercise that's been proven to increase your VO2 max.
Wait, hold up, back up. VO2 max, that's like a measure of how well your body uses oxygen, right? Like your cardio fitness.
Got it.
So you're saying those explosive lifts are good for your cardio, better than being on the treadmill for an hour.
That's what the research shows, yeah.
Yeah.
It really challenges our whole concept of cardio, right?
Mind blown. Officially.
Yeah.
Okay, next up, gymnastics. And full disclosure, I'm about as flexible as a rusty pipe.
We've all been there.
Why is this a cornerstone of CrossFit? Because when I think CrossFit, I think strength and power, not necessarily like handstands and cartwheels.
Right. Well, we tend to associate gymnastics with flexibility, which, don't get me wrong, is important. But at its core, gymnastics is about mastering your own body weight.
Oh, I see what you mean.
Think about it. Gymnasts are insanely strong, but they're not all super bulky.
Right. They're lean, but they're lifting their entire body weight, not just external weights.
Exactly. That's strength to weight ratio in action. And of course, let's not forget the coordination, balance, and body control gymnastics demands.
That's true. You're often upside down, moving through space. It takes a crazy amount of body awareness.
Totally. And honestly, it's fun. Keeps things interesting, It's not your average gym routine.
Okay, so we're doing these intense workouts, lifting heavy things, maybe flipping a tire or two. We got to talk about fuel. What's the CrossFit take on diet?
Hit me with it.
Because I know a lot of CrossFitters are big into the paleo thing.
Yeah, it's true. A lot of them are.
So is that it? Ditch the processed food? Eat like a caveman?
The Foundation's document, it lays out some pretty straightforward guidelines. And yeah, they do have a lot in common with the paleo diet, for sure.
So eat real food, basically. Groundbreaking.
Well, it sounds simple, right? But there's a reason they emphasize it so much.
It works.
Because it works. The focus is on whole, unprocessed foods. Lean proteins, healthy fats, carbs, mainly from veggies and fruits.
The good stuff.
And it all ties back to those performance goals.
Right, it all comes back to performance. And speaking of performance, there's this other CrossFit thing I wanted to ask you about. This whole constantly varied routines idea.
Ah, yes, the cornerstone of CrossFit.
Because I gotta say, doing the same workout day after day, recipe for boredom. Is that the main reason CrossFit mixes things up, or is there like a deeper reason?
Well, boredom is definitely a factor, let's be real. Nobody wants to get stuck in a rut. But CrossFit's emphasis on variety, it runs deeper than that.
Okay, so tell me more.
It's about tapping into your body's natural ability to adapt. You see, when we repeat the same workouts, our bodies, they become efficient.
We get good at that one thing.
Exactly. But then we plateau. And CrossFit, it's all about keeping your body guessing, right? Throwing new challenges your way so you keep getting stronger, fitter,
So you're like tricking your muscles into constantly leveling up.
That's a great way to put it.
I like it. No more plateaus.
Yeah.
But this brings up an interesting point. Because the Foundation's document, it actually says there's no single ideal CrossFit routine.
That's right. There isn't.
Which I guess makes sense.
Yeah.
But doesn't that make it all a bit unclear? Like, how do you even know where to start if there's no set formula?
And that's the beauty of it. It's not about following a rigid program. It's about embracing the unknown, experimenting, working with a knowledgeable coach to figure out what works best for you.
So it's personalized.
Exactly. Tailored to your body, your goals.
That makes me feel better, actually. I like that it's not one size fits all. This whole deep dive into CrossFit, it's really been an eye-opener. Like, we've gone way beyond just talking about workouts.
It's a whole philosophy.
Right. A philosophy of fitness that, I don't know, makes you rethink those hours on the elliptical.
Totally. It's about breaking free from those outdated ideas, embracing this holistic, adaptable approach to fitness.
So for anyone listening who's feeling stuck, bored with their routine, maybe this deep dive sparks something.
It's about listening to your body and what it needs.
Maybe it's time to take a closer look at what this whole CrossFit thing is really about.
And maybe, just maybe, it's time to ask yourself, if our bodies are designed for this level of adaptability, what are we truly capable of achieving?
Now that's a question. That's something to think about.